and into the light, 'cause I have faith in you, that you're gonna make it through another night. Stop thinking about the easy way out. There's no need to go and blow the candle out, because you're not done. You're far too young, and the best is yet to come. So just give it one more try. A lullaby. Turn this up on the radio. If you can hear me now, I'm reaching out to let you know that you're not alone. And you can't tell, I'm scared as hell, 'cause I can't get you on the telephone. So just close your eyes. Honey, here comes a lullaby. Your very own lullaby. Well, everybody's hit the bottom, and everybody's been forgotten. When everybody's tired of being alone, yeah, everybody's been abandoned and left a little empty.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World of Tanks Pro League Season 1 Grand Finals. 12 teams set off 12 weeks ago in the first ever season of the World of Tanks Pro League to try and get to this point right now. A place in the final to go head-to-head for €45,000, and that's just for first place. Unfortunately, some of those teams fell along the way. Lucky Karaki, Alpha Squad, 1SPB Zavisha, all relegated from the Pro League. But today and tomorrow are about the Grand Finals. They're about the top 6 teams that made it through to Dreamhack Summer 2013. Today we're going to see the top 4 from 3 down to 6 playoff in a double elimination bracket, and they'll try and face through to the semi-finals tomorrow against the top 2 teams from the season. Virtus Pro, 21 wins in concession all the way through the season. They only lost their first game of the season against Spale. No cheers from Spale, interesting. They're there, yeah, they're there somewhere. They're the only team to beat Virtus Pro all season long. Other than that, 21 games in a row. In second place, Team Dignitas, who started the season out as Synergy. They also qualify for the semi-finals. As you can see in the brackets right now, though, we're going to concentrate on the double elimination pre-playoffs today to see which 2 teams will go through to face them tomorrow for a shot at that first prize of €45,000. We're going to start off with Kazna Crew versus Mousesports. That'll be followed by Dragonborns versus Spale. Which of these 4 teams have got what it takes to make it through to the semi-finals? Before we go over to the commentary team and we get underway with our map picks for map number 1 of game number 1 today, please a big round of applause for 2 players from each team, for Carmen from Mousesports and Hibba from Kazna Crew. Enough of the friendliness, you're supposed to be rivals, okay? Yeah, that's it, much more meaner. So talk to me about Kazna Crew, because you've played each other twice in the league. You won 3-1 first time round, no problem. Second time round, you were a bit rubbish, and you lost 3-1.
Yeah, it happened. It is our fault. It was not that good game how we wanted. They also win with us in Go for Vote, but in Go for Vote finals, so the last time, we won with you 2-0. 2 for us, not for you.
Early smack talk, I like it. Hibba, I don't expect the same smack talk back, but how have you guys prepared? Are you ready? Got all your strategies ready? You know exactly what you're going to do against these guys?
Well, I think we do. We prepared for quite some time. We played against them a lot of matches. We kind of know them. They know us also, but we will see. You know, it's the first game. It's always tough, so anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about your season. 22 matches. It was a long season. You had some ups and downs. Would it be fair to say you were inconsistent through the season, and that led to finishing 6th, and maybe you could have finished higher?
Well, inconsistency was the main problem of us. We played 2 good games, then we played 2 bad games. And it doesn't matter who we play. We have to win 2, then lose 2. And that's the whole season. I hope we can at least achieve some consistency here at the Lance.
Okay, well, best of luck. One final question to you, Carmen. Mousesports finished 3rd. Yeah. There were many people in the community who thought that you guys probably should have finished 2nd. What stopped you?
What stopped us? The stupid mistakes in some of the games when we lose. We lose with Mem, we lose with Evil Panda Squad, and in the final we missed the 6 points, yeah? Also the lose with Kazna, it finished everything, so that was the biggest mistake from us. We just lost the points in some of the games on the beginning of the season and cannot run to synergy even if we won with them. Yeah.
Would you say that you're favourites for this particular game, and if so, does that add more pressure?
I think no, we are not favorites. Everyone who is here trained a lot. It's the top team of the 6 teams in the Pro League, so everyone have the same chances. We're just starting, everything is raised. So we will see who is better. I hope this time we will win, so it will be our one. I hope this will be tomorrow. The best teams will fight the Russians to show them how good is Europe.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Kazna crew versus Mousesports, game number 1.
Good luck.
And best of luck to both of them and their teammates. It's time to send you over to our commentary team of Oliver and Marcus.
Hello and welcome to the Casters booth. I'm Oliver Maxfield Laughter, and this is Marcus Magus Hacker. We will be doing all the games today, so do stay with us. But before we get started, I want to go over some social media stuff because we got a lot of it today. We've got some great giveaways on Facebook. We've got some Twitter giveaways as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's in the big prizes, you know, we're giving away big premium vehicles.
Not only the small ones,
Yeah.
big, huge ones today.
Yeah, we got KV5s, we got IS6s, we even got Super Pershing in there.
The best one is the Type 59.
Yeah,
Don't forget about
you
that.
can't even buy that anymore.
Exactly.
It's pretty incredible.
But today you can win it.
So let me go over that for you a second. It's not too hard. So we got a Facebook vote. Who's going to win? Which team's going to win? That will get you a premium tank if you get picked for that. We got a tweet of the day. So at the end of the day, we'll pick a tweet which we think is the best, and that will get you another premium tank, a KV5 in fact, which I really want. So if you just want to give it to me, then I'm quite happy with that as well.
You get to reach them, yeah.
Yeah, or a Type 59. I'm not particularly bothered.
I got both. So
Have you got both?
Yeah, I got both of them.
Damn you. Damn you. Right, Facebook artwork as well. We did do this last time at the end of the Pro League, but as Joe Miller found out, it didn't go so well because people were just Googling the artwork and then
Don't do it.
Picasso's work was just coming up. We have got some great artists out there, so fair enough. So yeah, well, just to make sure that's all right, we want our names at the bottom. So Oliver or Marcus or Paul. 2 or 3 of the names would do. That can be in Photoshop, that can be drawn, and you just take a picture of it. And if it's good enough, if we think it's good enough, we'll be picking you for a Super Pershing. So that's going to be pretty good. I mean, I've got that tank. It's pretty slow, but I do love it.
I don't got it. I want one. So.
I absorbed almost 11,000 damage in one game once in that tank. It's pretty incredible. So we're just going to go through some of the teams. I mean, 12 teams, 6 of them are left. 4 tomorrow, obviously Virtus Pro and Mousesports, Virtus Pro and Dignitas are already going to be in day 2, which could be a disadvantage or advantage because they won't be playing today.
A bit of both of them. So I think it's a bit of advantage, and at some points it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, sure. So you saw the brackets earlier today. Obviously, if you win everything, then you go through today. If you lose one game, you have another chance because it's a double elimination bracket in this pre-playoffs. So you'll be able to go to the loser bracket. And if you win through that, then you'll go through to the second day. But you will be fighting Virtus Pro instead of Team Dignitas.
Exactly, yeah. The winner bracket winner will against Dignitas. And so.
Yeah, sure. Our first game is Mousesports versus Kazna Crew. Go through some of the maps. What do you think? Who's going to win where?
Yeah, I think that Mousesports definitely will ban White Park, especially if they lose a coin flip, because then you have to play it from the south, most likely. And I think Kazna Crew will ban Prokhorovka, because they banned Prokhorovka 11 times in the season in 22 games. So 50% banned was Prokhorovka. And yeah, if they have to play Prokhorovka, they lose it more likely all the games. So they will definitely ban it. And especially on the other side, that Mousesports is doing pretty well on Prokhorovka. But yeah, the teams are just on the map picking, so we will see it clearly in a few seconds, I hope. And what we else can say about the team? Kazna Crew win the whole season 40 rounds.
47% of the rounds, Kazna Crew, while 60% won. But these, and you can see on the screen, these are maps for today. They are the same Pro League maps we've been playing all 22 match days, and also relegation maps as well.
All 7, some with the nice pictures. Yeah. Oh, Prokhorovka. So.
Yeah, Prokhorovka's gone. Nothing too. We predicted
that. Yeah, we predicted really.
Yeah. Mousesports way too strong on that for any.
I think no, the second one will be White Park.
Yeah. I think White Park, Airfield. Yeah, I think that's a pretty static map. I think that's the problem. Teams don't want to be playing too slowly. They don't want to be camping too much at the beginning. They want to be getting into the swing of things. They want to be fired up straight away without having to, wait around and camp. And I think that's a really good, interesting pick for them, certainly.
Exactly, yeah. And now we will see the fifth map, and it's White Park. It
Yeah.
was more or less clearly to directly pick White Park if it's possible.
Yeah.
Directly take
Because it would mean that,
north side.
yeah, exactly. You take the north side,
Yeah.
you've got a very, very good chance of winning, and that's why you pick it last. Because if it comes to the last map, you're going to be on 2-2-all. So if you win that map, you win the whole thing. So that's it's clever, but it's also a bit
it's
iffy.
predictable.
Yeah. So what are you thinking next? I'm thinking Himmelsdorf or Mainz.
I think Abbey or Ensk.
Okay. Exactly
Totally
the opposite.
different. Yeah.
Abbey or Ensk, fair enough.
Abbey. Yeah.
Abbey.
My point.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I mean, it's such a big map. Teams don't want to be playing it right at the beginning.
The point on Abbey is you can't predict your enemy. So many options you can play, and even the setup can be totally different from game to game. So it's really hard to predict enemy. So you want to also play it really in the end of the game.
Yeah, you've got three areas you can really push. The mountain area, the middle area, and the lower area. And I just don't think teams, it's not going to be easy for them to straight off the bat play into these kind of huge maps.
Exactly.
So you think
Mainz.
Mainz
That's next. So one of your maps.
One of my favorite maps.
Yeah.
Steven's favorite map as well.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Mainz.
really. Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting map. That's a very balanced map. Obviously, from the north, it favours tanks as opposed to the south, which favours more the artillery, which is a point we're going to be talking about later a bit more. Artillery in this patch, and obviously in 8.6.
In the next patch,
but in this, we are playing in 8.5, obviously, since it's not out on the server, and this is being played on the server. So,
Ensk will be the second map to play today.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have 9 draws. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, like the Russians.
That was amazing.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And Himmelsdorf. So 2 city maps from the start, then on to Mainz. That is 3 of my favorite maps, actually. Apart from, I don't know, Ensk is a 50-50. It can be really exciting, and it can be really boring at the same time. So,
but on Himmelsdorf, we definitely will see some action, because Mousesports and Spale were all playing really aggressive on Himmelsdorf.
I think Spale play Himmelsdorf better than any other team. We're going to be talking about it a bit later. But we saw in Hanover, I think it was Hanover.
Yeah,
they played against Kazna crew. Obviously, Mousesports are playing Kazna crew now, and they, both teams played so well. It was one of the most interesting matches to look at and analyze.
If I remember right, I really liked the move from the T69. All expecting them on the hill, and he was driving through the mid, directly pushing into the mid area near this fountain and pushing in, and it was really a nice tactic from them.
If that's anything to go on, this weekend is going to be incredible. I think we're going to see some of the best tactics, some of the best maps. I think some of the most interesting choices in terms of tanks. And what's really interesting is we played 22 match days. We've kind of seen the status quo. Obviously, the meta has changed over the last 2 months. Obviously, not counting A series. But teams prepare another 20-30% at offline events. So we saw Mousesports last time at Lemming Train. They were called then. On Hanover, they played. Really interesting map tactic on Wide Park, where they used a grill, and I'm wondering if any other teams come up with something special for this event, and I think they certainly will.
I definitely think we will see some special. I don't know if we see it in the first rounds.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
I think pre-playoffs we'll see them just trying to not give away too much.
I think it's too important to start good in the tournament, so nobody wants to lose the first game. You're allowed to lose 1 round, and then you go to the loser bracket, but nobody wants to start in the tourney with a lose. So.
Sure, I think it's all about morale at the end of the day.
Exactly.
First game of the day. These guys have been traveling for the last 2 days, so they kind of want to start off on the right foot.
I think they will play pretty safe on Himmelsdorf, the normal tactics, the normal stuff, just to prepare that it didn't lose.
Yeah. Where's my jelly babies gone?
I don't know.
Jelly? We got a box of jelly babies. I don't know where they've gone.
One here.
I think I'm gonna make that's the greatest pun ever. Just getting jelly babies. You jelly, bro?
Yeah. But if we go to the maps, our first map is Ensk. No, Himmelsdorf. So if I check it right, that Mousesports win only 50% of the matches.
50%.
17 times of 22 match days they played Himmelsdorf. And it's only around 50-50.
Yeah.
So it's more like a gamble.
Yeah, I remember watching some of their matches on Himmelsdorf, and I think they play quite well. I think they lack a little bit of heavy tank execution. Obviously, it's interesting because Prokhorovka is such an open map, and it's their favorite map. And they work so well as a team there. They've got so much synergy that they work so superbly with artillery. And then we got Himmelsdorf, which they're not very good on, and you can kind of draw that parallel, where everything's about how you use your heavy tanks, how you focus fire. Something you don't have to do on Prokhorovka. Obviously, focus fire you do, but it's much more. It's not as linear,
That's true, yeah. And Himmelsdorf, it's not really depending from the spawn. You can spawn south or north. It's similar from my side of the view. And most likely all teams got a more or less equal score, so they lose and win the same amount of their own, maybe 1 or 2 rounds difference. But over the whole season, it looks like Himmelsdorf is so balanced that you can win or lose against everyone.
It's true. South and north is such a balanced map.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing will be how the teams use that hill, because obviously at the beginning of the season the teams used the hill a lot, and they used that shooting down into the line from the north.
At the beginning, 1G69 was driving up, shooting down. And the mid of the season, we saw 1 or 2 5100s joining them up on the top. And now at the end of the season, nobody's driving up to the maybe only the T1 back to before the season. So it's changing constantly. And I think that's most tactics were created for Himmelsdorf in the season.
Sure.
I didn't saw any map with more different tactics.
Yeah. I think, what's going to be interesting as well is to see how Kazna crew perform, because they haven't done so well at the last 2 offline events. Coming last, I think, in Hanover and Katowice as well. I think they come last twice. So
stage,
it's quite strange because they're a really close bunch of players. They all come from the same city, same area even. So they must play with each other quite a lot in person. So you would expect from that point of view for them to do really well, because if a playing offline event, the hardest thing to do is be next to your players. It gives you an advantage, but you need to get used to it. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works as well. But if they do win, then I think we'll possibly see that as a catalyst.
Yeah, I think they need something like a kickoff to get it started.
Exactly.
Into the flow, I would say. I think often they lose the first game and then they try to come back, but it didn't really work out for them.
Yeah.
So they need definitely to win to the first game.
Sure.
Would be a big step for them.
And I think for that team, it's not so much about teamwork. I think it's about individual play. I remember going back to match day 12, I think it was. They played so well, but then they just threw it away completely. They just sent a tank in. I think it was like an AMX 1390, and it just got completely destroyed because it missed like 4 or 5 shells from point blank range.
Yeah, I think the team play from Kazna is really, really good. Yeah. And if they're playing at home and feeling in their own places, if they're feeling really good, then they're doing really, really good performance. But on this offline event, it's totally different. You have to perform totally otherwise, like at home. You got other stuff, other monitors, you got the crowd in front, the noise cancelling phones.
Got your mods as well. I mean, obviously these players won't be playing with any mods at all.
Yeah.
Completely blank clients, as you would expect from a pro league like this. And obviously that's going to make it more fair. Also, they won't be able to hear anything. They have noise cancelling headphones, so they can't hear anything from the stage, so don't worry about that. And I think we're going to be running live because they won't be able to watch it anyway.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, you got separate team speaks, stuff like that, so it's totally safe. But yeah, we're live all the time.
Yeah, so that's Kazna crew on your screen right now. Hiba, Beko right in the front there. Just preparing, I think, the most important thing is that you don't go into the battle without any ammo, and we will have to leave.
I think they have checked the double all the time.
Triple checked it. So we will be going to tank picking. Tank picking has started even. Obviously, this is Himmelsdorf, so I wouldn't expect anything else than heavy tanks, AMX 5100s and T32s perhaps, but the metagame's moved on. It's more IS3s now, T69s as well.
Yeah. The question is, we will see a third 5100 or a second I3. The teams change sometimes from 3 5100s to 2 5100s and 2 I3. But I don't think that any one of the teams will pick a T32.
Yeah.
I saw it on the GeForce a few days ago. Teams going back to the T32 for just a defensive way of playing on Himmelsdorf. But if you want to play aggressive like these teams, I think they will both pick I3.
I think the problem with the I3 though, obviously it works because it's got high alpha. Anyone who plays a high alpha tank on a city maps knows that it is preferred because you have that one shot to make and you want to do as much damage as possible. But having said that, an AMX 5100 can do 1.8k damage. It's got 269 penetration, which is perfect because you just don't stand a chance in an IS rig against an AMX 5100. It just comes around the corner. It will just blow you away. You'll have like 2 shots, 2 shots maybe, if you're lucky, and then that's it. And obviously the AMX 5100's turret is just turn so quickly, so it will just get behind you and destroy you. And especially as there's two, there is often is two. They work in packs.
Yeah. Yeah, often you have only the chance to shoot one time if they just rush over you, and then it's better to do 400 damage instead of 320 or 390. Yeah. And the last pick is an IS3 like expected for Mousesports, so they're playing with two IS3s.
Two IS3s, so that's going to be interesting if they use them together or they use them with the T69 and the AMX 5100. Obviously, you want the best of both worlds, but it's kind of strange because you can get the best of both worlds, but then you can end up sacrificing both the benefits.
Sometimes it's good to do it like a split, one i3 with 250-100s or one with i3. But it can be really worse if you go into 3 autoloaders and you have one i3 with you and they focus i3 out. And it's really hard to come back into the fight if you lose directly one of the tanks against an autoloader. So it's normally you drive with the 2 i3 as one pack supported by the T69 and the 250-100 try to flank. So the i3 is not fast enough. The 5100 always can try to run, but the i3 after the turn he's dead.
It's too slow as well in turning. I mean, the AMX 5100 turns almost as fast as the T69.
You can't let the i3 alone with the 5100 to run, because you lost the 8 points. So you have to stay and fight with the i3, and then you lose 16 points because those tanks will die. That's really the decision you have to do. You want to risk this.
I mean, if you are going to risk it, then you've got to really think about how you're going to get back into the game, because you'll be at a disadvantage, obviously, if it doesn't work out for you. But then you will have possibly the AMX 5100 to.
You can do it if you got a T1 maybe in the cap to just give them some more time, a few seconds you need, then you just run away, sacrifice the i3, try to surround with 5100. Maybe you need some seconds to reload, and then try to track the heavies that they can't reach the T1 in time. That's the option maybe. Yeah.
So the next map after that will be Ensk, a map we've seen a lot of this season actually. Have we got any statistics on that? I think Kazna crew and Mousesports are actually pretty even on Ensk.
Yeah, on Ensk. Kazna lose 8 games and win 7. They played it also 15 times, so pretty a lot. Even. Yeah. And for Mousesports, it's more or less similar. They played on Ensk 15 times, won 8 and lose 7 rounds. So
exactly the same. So we will be going to the first game any second now, and I think it's going to be a great one. If it starts off great, I think that it can only go up.
It will be perfect the whole day. I have it in my mind. The feeling is with us. Yeah.
So our first map will be Himmelsdorf, and
I see all teams are watching and cheering for the guys.
They're going to be writing down all the tactics.
I think here from Dignitas Stalker, just cheering with a laptop, he's just commenting everything to the guys in the background. Some copy of tactics.
Remember to slap Marcus and laugh. God damn it.
God damn it. Yeah, he can hear us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hi, Stalker. So yeah, but back to the game. We can talk about what happened in the season. They played against on 10th and 21st playday. Yeah. The first match was 3-1 for Mousesports at the 10th playday. And second playday is definitely the 1-3 for Kazna crew. So they managed to turn it back, and it was 3-3 points.
Yeah, sure. Well, if they are, then it's going to be an interesting one, because how they're going to use those that 50-50 win, how that's going to play as a mind game is going to be good. But you have to change your account to your tank to a spectator tank, man. You noob.
You're a noob. Oh, I'm such a noob. Yeah. So we're waiting for me.
Going into a battle with a T1 extra.
Yeah, I'm so common to the T1 in the battle, sorry.
Yes, so used to
I would win against boost teams with my T1 or not.
Yeah, sure. It's true, you have got bragging rights there. I'll give you that one. That game was incredible. I'm still blown away by that. But now you've sorted out your little problem, we should be ready to go.
Yeah. So yeah, back to it. So it's totally tight over the season. Yeah. When you look to the table, to the score table, Mousesports was so ahead from Kazna. I think 9 points or 12.
Yeah, they were so far.
But in the end, between the teams, it's totally tight.
So we've got our team line up there, but the players, the nicknames of the players: Kazna crew on your right, Mousesports on your left. Elian is the tactical genius behind Mousesports, along with Carmen, and we've got Jigera and Still Mojo. Not Jigera, I think it's Jigera and Still Mojo who. Nelem, maybe. Nelem and Still Mojo, the tactical geniuses behind Kazna's crew. Interestingly, Still Mojo does opt for that artillery play, does opt for the MX 5100, which is hard because he has to multitask, but on a next level. He has to control the team, he has to do all the tactics, he has to play well. But yeah, we're on to Himmelsdorf. This is our first game. We'll be going to Ensk after that, and then on to Mainz.
Yeah, we get finally started. I can't believe I'm so happy. Yeah, we get games.
It is Mousesports versus Kazna crew on Himmelsdorf.
You're watching on Mouse side, and I will spectate on Kazna.
Yes, and
Kazna is starting north,
is,
so
Mousesports
will be starting south. The question is how they will use. So if we go through the lineup, you see on Kazna side they use 2 T69. Kazna is starting. It's a bit surprising for me that they use 2 T69s here.
Sure, yeah. 2 T69s, we've seen it before actually. I think we saw 3, but it's more of an Ensk lineup than anything else. We haven't really seen it on Himmelsdorf too much. We've seen it once or twice. I think in the earlier match days when the T69 was a brand new tank. But it's more about this 5100 in my opinion. But obviously, Nyla and Mahibo are brilliant players on the T69, so how they're going to use it is more important than anything else.
So yeah, we see Hyber is going up to the hill with the T69. One T69 is on C3, more or less standing. I don't know why it don't switch. So we have to go on with your side actually, because mine will not work.
Well, Pelauda is already spotted.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mousesports is just on the left side of the map completely. The G line, G3. This is a common tactic from the south.
Yeah, Kazna is also staying more or less with all tanks on the 3 line preparing this. Only the T69 and T1 is going up and face the second T69.
Pelauda is spotted. The IS-3, the reason why the IS-3 is being used more than the T-32 is because it has the armor, the turret armor pretty much of the T-32, 298 millimeters, but it just doesn't get affected by AP ammo completely. Well, HE will do a bit of damage. That's why you're seeing it. That's why you see Christopher up on that that plateau, that broken house. Sure. Well, I think both teams just playing very passively at the moment, playing very laid back. I mean, it always happens like this on Himmelsdorf for at least the first couple of minutes. Obviously, we're at 2 minutes in now. But you know, quite a lot of tanks have been spotted at this point. At the moment, Mousesports know pretty much where the whole of Kazna crew is. They've also done some
hits on the hill. He's down to 850 hit points, so he already has 500 hit points.
Mousesports know pretty much
where
where.
the I3 in the mid area, if he was spotted. What was the T69?
He also connected the shell right onto Hyber, taking him down to 1,100 damage. And it's going to be interesting how that plays off, because if he's done too much damage, if he's taken too much damage, then he won't survive the one-on-one fight with the other T69.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that Hyber is just picking up and Zugera is spotting the 8 line now.
So, Pelauda spotted again. He is in that IS-3. On the opposite side of the map to Christopher 2012, just Christopher usually.
Yeah, but on the hill is Hyber going forward. I think you want to face Adel in here and do some pressure here. Because I think he is thinking about to push here. He's an advantage in hit points. We got already loaded. He's able to kill him with 4 shells.
Yeah, Alien missing his first shot. Hyber taking another shot. 201 damage going out. Kazna crew still at an advantage in terms of hit points, but Hyber has got to be very careful because he has done 2 shells and he cannot kill Ilian with the rest of his shells, as Kazwab does retreat in that T1 cannon.
Yeah, but now he decided to go back and go a bit more carefully, but they didn't spot the second 50, and now the second 5100, just the second is spotted down the 2 line. But yeah, he was not sure if he's alone on the hill or not. But he's still waiting for the T6. I think this will be a really important part, who gets the totally control over the hill and is able to shoot down to the G line or the D line.
I think at this point, Kazna crew do have the hill. Obviously, Ilian has taken a lot more damage than Hyber, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And well, I think Hyber has to be careful because it is a common tactic to use AMX 5100 on the hill, so he doesn't want to push too far.
Yeah.
And well, Carmen in his IS-3 has managed to spot Still Mojo in that MX 5100. So, I mean, usually we see the IS3 the other way around. You point the back towards the place you want to go, and then you just have the hold down position, and it's slightly more advantageous.
Carmen is more or less an old schooler.
Yeah, he's an old schooler.
It's an old tactic.
He's like Ace from Evil Panda Squad. Old school heavy tank player, for sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kazna decided to change the tanks. Jigera is driving up to the hill again from the 8 line, and the T69 is going down to the 8 line. So they only want to get this hill spotted by a T1, don't to risk any Tier 8 tank to lose on top. The question is, we know 5 minutes into the game, which team will first decide to attack?
Exactly. I mean, it's not like some genius tactics going to come out here. It's Himmelsdorf. You have 3 ways to go. You can either go to the hill, you can either go through the 8 line, or you can go through the 2 or 3 line. I mean, it's nothing like, they're not going to be thinking, I mean, they're going to be thinking about how they want to execute it, but there's nothing like genius that's going to come out. It's not like, they're not like they're going to fly over the whole of Himmelsdorf and land in the base or something. But I think we'll see Mousesports push over the 2 or 3 line. Because the 8 line from the north is just, from the south even, is just too hard to push, because you push into tanks that are possibly held down. But we have seen it work
some
before.
line shots here from Hanem. I think he tried to destroy the hiding points for the T1s.
But Carmen also line shotting Pilauda. So far, no damage done by Christopher or Carmen onto Pilauda. He is playing that very well in the IS3. So we just want to see if any of these 2 teams are willing to take the bait, are willing to push forwards.
Yeah, I think the Mousesports thinking they got 2 T69, so let them attack. They got a more mobile and flexible lineup, so I think they have to attack, and we can say just more a bit defensive. The point is, if Mousesports decide to attack with this a bit slower setup, they can't go back in the base to defend it. T1s are still alive from on both sides. If they manage to kill maybe 1 T1, they can say, okay, they can't cap that fast, we can attack on one side.
Sure.
But if both T1s are alive and manage to go to the cap, they got so much pressure, especially on Himmelsdorf. The time to go back to your base can be so long.
Sure, we're seeing Puzzling and Alien X pushing along. Puzzling in that MX 5100, while Alien with that damage dealer of the T69. I think both teams will be defaulting to their more defensive patterns. It just depends upon what Snip does in his MX 5100.
But at the same time, Jigera was moving slowly forward here to get a view, so they know that's nothing on the hill. So I think they will expect that they push on the 8 line. And the second T1, Copa Leone, also predictable, driving now to the 8 line to spot them. So it's just a quite mind move. They know, okay, something will happen on the 8 line, the hill is lost.
So we're seeing Mousesports push right up into the main area. Copa Leone was spotted. Snip missing a shot onto him, so he only has 5 shots left. But now we have an engagement. Hyber's on 929. Alien does take down Copa Leone in that T1, but will Puzzling and Snip actually be able to connect in
Hyber
time?
is now in a lot of trouble here. You're getting a lot of hits from Alien and Puzzling, and he's on the way back to the base with 400 hit points. The question is, will he survive? Will he manage it? He will manage it. Okay, he's back and safe, directly next to his 5100.
Still Mojo making some shots out. It's nothing happening with Puzzling. He's still on 857. He did just take a shot. Still Mojo didn't manage to connect anything onto Elin, which I think is quite surprising, because he could have possibly killed him. As well.
Yeah, but Carmon is also trying to flank them on the other side. We see Still Mojo. He's firing a lot of shells to the side of the attack from Mousesports, but Carmon also tried to flank this and make pressure on Still Mojo. And I think Still Mojo is soon on reload. He got maximum 1 or 2 shells left. I think it's a good timing if Mousesports decide now to push.
Yeah, sure, as Carmen's pushing onto Still Mojo. He does get a big shot out, 402 damage. Jigera does take down Mouse in that T1 Cunningham, so both teams down to 2 T1s. But here we go, Snib and Puzzling. Resident AMX 5100 players sneaking around the corner into the base. 1 minute and 25 seconds left, so they can still cap. Beko does get a shot. Puzzling's at 857.
Ricky got a really nice positioning here. You see it directly behind the window. He just sneak around, do 1 shell, and go back. And from the side, Pilauda and Hyber can support him. So Puzzling and Snip should be better drive back. But there's the first heavy down. Still Mojo is down. Alien and Carmon managed to kill him. And now Kazna have to push. Hyber is also down to 30 hit points. Pilauda managed to kill in the IS3 the 5100 from Puzzling. And now they're pushing forward. They want to get the kill of Snip, but Alien tried to support and cover him, and Snip managed to escape. It's only 50 seconds left on the clock, but then just starting also to the cap, but they need a second one. The one T1 is not enough. But Alien is also one.
Elian's in big trouble. He goes down. This is the advantage for Kazna crew. They have 2 8s down, 2 tier 8s down in Kazwab, so that's 17 points.
It's 30 seconds on the clock, and they got 3 one-shots in the team. If you check around here, they're trying to go everywhere, but Christopher joined, and if he managed to kill Hyber, yes.
He does get carried down, and you'll have reloads of about 7 seconds left, and he will probably take down Pilauda.
The point is, Christopher and Kamen on full-on hit points, and Kazna is on one-shot, so Kazna have to run to take the draw. I think they got no chance to escape. Pilauda will die soon, and now it's time for Kazna to attack them again.
So back and forth we go, as Nilam is on 142 health, so he will go down very quickly if he doesn't be careful. 50% on the cap.
Vico is going for Kameno. If he is reloaded, he can manage to kill him. Kameno. No.
But it doesn't matter. There we go. The first win of the World of Tanks Pro League finals here in Sweden goes to Mousesports with quite spectacular results, really. That was a pretty interesting game. I said there's nothing genius is going to happen, but that was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I like the style of Himmelsdorf in the last playdays, especially this. You try to flank the enemy flank you, you try to flank them again, and it's more, it's dynamic. You always have to try to evade and flank and attack from the other side. That's why Himmelsdorf is so cool.
Sure. And Elian X, he was the one coming up the A line. He went in, and then he went around. And I think that's what really helped them, because he did 2.6k damage, almost 2,572 damage, which is really amazing for a T69. But then, surprisingly, the rest of Mousesports didn't do that too much more, because I think he gave him the advantage, and then Mousesports just kind of had to play a bit chilled, and just make sure that they keep on taking the tier 8 tanks out, so they win on points. And we can see if Kazna Crew's T69's paid off. Nelum only doing 717, so that's 3 shots, and Hyber doing 4 shots, 2 shots potentially. Hyber doing 1,269, so pretty much the same as the rest of Mousesports tanks.
But in the end, it was they going forward with the autoloaders and managed to hide the IS-3 more or less. The IS-3 do some damage, but they didn't get focused. So in the end, they got the IS-3s, while all autoloaders were on the reload, especially the 5100s, and then they can clean up the field. Just the 3 one-shots get cleaned up by the IS-3s. Yeah. So in the end, it was a better way to just push with the 5100s and come later, or join the fight later with IS-3s.
Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing. Carmen went up the 3 line. He managed to get behind Still Mojo. Still Mojo pushed forwards to try and get shots at Elian, but he just didn't get there in time, which is quite surprising. And then I think an MS-5100 just got some really good shots under Still Mojo, which just allowed Carmen to do what the IS-3 does best, and that's just to get the big shot off to finish the tank.
Exactly, yeah. So, but next map is Ensk. What do you expect for Ensk? We see some similar lineup?
I don't know. I think we can. I think we won't actually see a camp, to be honest, in the first game. I think we'll see pretty much the same tactics we've seen all 22 match days, putting the T69 in the middle, the T1 over the green side.
Maybe IS-3 spans the T69 sniping over the mid area.
Sure, yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting exactly how many AMX5100s the 2 teams use, because, well, it's good because it can get back to the base fast enough to stop the cap, which is really important on Ensk, because obviously the teams often send the 2 T1s around to cap whilst pushing the heavy tanks, pushing all the heavy tanks to the enemy's heavy tanks. So obviously they can't get back to stop the cap with the T69, for instance. And well, unless the 2 T1s of their own team manage to carry them, manage to keep them alive, then they're pretty screwed.
But in that case, it will be the question, you think Kazna will go for 2 T69s again? I think that's a possible tactic. You can go in the open. If you play with the T1 and the T69 really aggressive on the open, you can get faster map control, and then you can work with the bashes, going fast with the T69 behind something, spot shot, shoot, and go back. You can do some damage, especially in the beginning of the game. So you can clear your way for the late game. In the late game, the T69 is not that good, so the 5100 got the advantage in the late game. But for the beginning, doing some pressure, just some rebellion moves, the T69 is clearly favored for me on this map.
So there you can see our World of Tanks booth. Obviously, all those computers set up. There's going to be about 5,000 people setting up their own desktops. Everyone has these like little shelves where they can just put the stuff on top. It's pretty clever. I guess they're all Dreamhack pros. This is my first time, so that was quite surprising, actually.
It's also my first time here in Dreamhack. I wanted to go 2004, or it was 2005 as I was playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah, sure.
First time I was thinking about it. if you ever was on any LAN event, you want to go to Dreamhack.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so big here. There's so many halls. We're in a pretty big hall, but we're just in one of them.
One of 4.
Yeah, exactly, one of 4.
And the hugest one are 5,000 people.
That's mental.
Yeah, 5,000 people gaming.
Well, it's a record breaker, isn't it?
Yeah,
biggest LAN event ever. This exact
worldwide,
one. Yeah. Even bigger than multiplayer or I-Series. Pretty incredible. So, as you can see on your screens, we have got Mac picking at the moment, AMX 5100s being chosen, 2 from each team at the moment, T1s obviously being the first pick, and then IS3s and T69s. How do you think that 2 IS3s are going to work? We haven't seen that a lot.
It's more or less common stuff, I think. It's nothing
sure.
special. Interesting will be the last pick. If they take a T69, I bet Mousesports will take one. The question is, will Kazna take one? No, Kazna going for the IS3. But I think he's a bit nervous. He picked before.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally you have to wait for
Mousesports.
Mousesports.
The other team.
Yeah. So, he was thinking, whatever, we play the IS3 anyways.
Yeah, whatever.
So
don't care.
Come and get some.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're getting ready. Okay, they're playing with 6.
So
yeah, we're still missing 1 tank for Mousesports, right?
I think so. Yeah. Or have they picked everything? I think. Yeah, I think they've picked everything apparently. Troll.
Should we ask them? Oh,
2 T1s from Elian, 2 T1s from Hiver. Okay, fine. If they're ready, they're ready. I mean.
Yeah, we are also ready. So let's go.
So.
But they picked the tank, so I think you only forget to write it down.
Sure. So we're on to our second map. Obviously, Mousesports taking it 1-0 on Himmelsdorf, and now we're on to Ensk.
Yeah, Ensk again, the city map, but a bit more open space.
So here we go, Mousesports versus the Kazna crew. Kazna crew don't have to win this one, but it'd be very nice if they win this one because it'll bring them to 1-1. They don't want to be going 2-0 down straight away. So we're seeing Kazna crew filter off to the right while Mousesports are going to pretty much to the center.
More or less the basic startup for Kazna here, going to the city, defend on the 3 line the buildings. And they just spot directly Carmen and Snip. 1 I3 and 1 5100, and this time they decide to push on with 3 5100s, 2 of them with 1 I3 going directly straight on the 1 line, and yeah.
Will we have an engagement here? Still Mojo pushing straight onto Carmen. Carmen's got to be very careful, he's got to push forward, but Hyber's there to take him.
It's a really nice firefight we got here. The 3 tanks just joined from the side and trying to rape Carmen, Christopher and Puzzling. And the second one just waiting here behind the corners to join the fight.
It didn't go well at all for Kazna crew losing 2 tanks, but here comes Pelauda from the back. He does take him down for only 218
damage.
damage.
Also 1 hit point. You ever saw a tank on 1 hit point? But Christopher's now on the run. I think Hyber is still on the reload. He'd have to escape, but Pelauda's definitely reloaded.
So very surprisingly, we haven't seen any camp at all, showing us how it's done and doing the caster's curse of doing exactly the opposite of what we say they will do. Christopher is going to take down Pelauda.
Not that good. It's only Alien left with the 2 T1s against 2 of the Kazna guys. But Hyber is also a one-shot in his T69, but Veko is full on hit points in his IS3, and no 1 T1 is down. The question is, Alien, what do you think? Is he on reload?
He's definitely, I think, pretty sure he's reloaded now. He's got 6 shells in that autoloader, possible 1.8k damage, well, an average 1.8k damage. So we could possibly see a comeback here.
Viol on the other side, on a lot of pressure against the Jagera and Cobrelone in his back. The T1's trying to kill him, and then it's a way open to the spot, and they can just try to cap. And on the other side, if you switch back to your screen, we see Alien try to defend itself as long as possible.
He is running away. He knows he's spotted. Jagera just taking down Viol finally, regardless of his disadvantages. He had 40 HP against Viol's 115. But Alien now on his own completely.
Yeah, he spotted and Veko just find him and managed to hit him first time. The point is, even if he empties all the 6 shields for Alien and he managed to kill Veko, then will be the T69 behind him with 4 shells, and will kill him.
That's exactly what Veko is thinking.
Waco only have to manage to collect one shell. He's not a one-shot, he's a two-shot, so he can manage to hit Alien definitely. And Alien is playing really passive. I think Alien wants to spend one shell on Hyber. It's his only chance to win. He has to kill Hyber first.
Yeah.
Oh, when Waco missed. This was a really important shot. And now Hyber is on the run. I think it's a better idea for Waco to just push forward.
But Hyber is now spotted. Elian will take him down, but his Amarak is damaged. No, he does repair it. And now he will have that speed advantage. He'll be looking to ram.
Oh, he managed to escape. The point is he have to go back to the base. He has 30 seconds. He have to run 1v1, otherwise he got no shells left. Jigera and Cobleone should better hide behind buildings.
Unbelievable. Elian just pushing down the tree to try and dupe, try and possibly confuse the enemy team as to where he's going, but Jigera is actually going to, I think he's going to leave the cap, or he's just going to go behind a position where he can't actually do anything.
Yeah, but Jigera was spotted. He tried to get him away from Cobleone. Cobleone started in front of the bush, and he have to ram him. He got only 3 seconds. Will he manage to
he will get there,
yeah,
he will get there.
Yeah.
52% left. Now he's going to run out the cap.
But the T1's also doing some damage to him. He's down to 130 hit points, and he's still on reload. The question is, will the IS-3 go there in time?
But Elian X is reloaded. Veko is going to come around the corner, but Elian won't be able to one-shot him unless he's very lucky. But Elian does get taken down. Veko, brilliant shot.
Good job by Waco. Yeah.
Finally hitting that shot.
So it's a 1-1.
It's a 1-1 as we go on to Mines, our third map.
Yeah.
But really Elian played really well then. I think, you know, Veko he missed 2 shots, and then the third one was lucky.
Definitely. He played really well. If you expect that he was playing against 2 T1s and 2 T8 tanks with only 5100 was on reload, he managed to escape the whole reload time without getting any damage.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. 3.2k damage done by Elian. I think the problem was Snip in that MX 5100 just got focused down, but they only managed to doing 306 damage.
Same for Carmon directly in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it was a good move. Mouse tried just to find the position and just get in position, and Kazna just push over and tried to red them from the side, and worked pretty well, especially for Waco with his 2,200 damage on his IS-3.
But that's always interesting to see, because Kazna crew often win because the whole team gets equal amount of damage. You know, if you look at so much more than any other teams, Kazna crew always seems to win by having every player in their team do equal amount of damage. It's quite interesting. I mean, 2,100 was the maximum one of them did, and then it's, you know, around the high 1,000s.
So it's more or less equal. Only still Mojo is down to 500, but I think he was in the same trouble like Carmon. Passing, they directly get focused out, and only 4 shots fired, 3 directly to 1 unlucky, only 2 times damage. But anyways, it was a nice game, fast one, especially for Ensk. Not 9 times draw like in the Russian finals. Yeah,
it definitely worked though. That's the thing. Kazna crew won that game because of that initial push. That was 3 tanks coming around the corner and managing to focus down pretty well onto Snip, puzzling as we saw, and that's what really helped, because puzzling couldn't do much, and Snip had to push forwards, and then Hyber was there in that T69 managing to connect the shells. But that's 1-1 to Kazna crew against Mousesports.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting push. I think you have to do something surprising. If you want to win on a LAN final and do something different to the whole season, you have to do something surprising. In that case, you can every time win against every team if you surprise them. But yeah, on Mines, what do you think we see as setup? You see, maybe from Kazna, I think they played a few times with a T71 or with a VZ on the map.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the T71's coming awfully common, especially on maps like Mines and Abbey. I mean, it does about 1,000 damage, but it's fast, it's nimble. It can just do things which other tanks can't because it's so small. I mean, obviously on Abbey, it can get through the little door areas, you know, where there's 2 brick walls of stops and you can drive through there. You can only do it with like a T50-2 or a T71. But before we talk a little bit more about Mines, we have got quite a few social media events going on today. If you just go onto WG_esports_EU, you'll find a link to all the information, as well as we've got some Facebook, some Twitter stuff as well, hashtag WPL. So do have a look for that on Twitter if you are on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter, because that's where it's all going down in today's Dreamhack World Tanks Pro League finals. But yeah, will we be seeing artillery? Because we saw in the Russian Pro League no artillery. We saw some Storm Panzer Bison, some Storm Panzer 2s.
I expect maybe at least one team of them playing with 2 artilleries, like GV Panther and Bison. And yeah, I think we will definitely see something like that. And then the basic stuff like the 3090s and T69s, two 269s, two 3090s, sometimes 369s, and only one 3090. But yeah, that's more or less the usual stuff you have to play on mines.
I think in 8.6, when the favorite artillery is the GV Panther will be put up to tier 7.
Yep.
The Lorraine 15551 will be put up to tier 8. So you won't be able to complete your setups as you can now.
I think we will see after the patch more or less only Bisons and Sturmpanzer, because you use it with premium ammunition.
Sure.
It's more or less the same. You don't waste so many hit points, but you can't really use the tier 7 or tier 8 artillery. It's not worth it, I think.
You can use it. You can use it. You could use the Lorraine 15551 on something like Prokhorovka, but it would mean you would have to take away your T2 light. And that is a really key tank on that map, especially pushing along the road.
The point is, the arty takes no need in the game when you don't got any scouts. So if you remove the T2 light, you got no scouts, so you don't need a T8 artillery. So maybe you can use a 15550, so actually tier 6 French one, going up to tier 7, but the damage...
950. Yeah. 950 damage.
Yeah, if
it's
you penetrate.
Questionable. I mean, the best thing about using a GV Panther and a Lorraine is that they can actually one-shot most of the tanks.
Exactly.
If you hit like a AMX 3090, then there's a very good chance you're going to win less even. Then what's the point?
The point is, if you're hit unlucky, even with a full hit, you can do sometimes 200 to 250 damage, and that's not worth it to waste the 7 points. So, in my opinion, we will see a lot more T2 and T3 arties after the patch.
Possibly, yeah. I think that's probably going to happen. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing yet. We'll have to find out how that works, because we see how it does work well on mines. I mean, it doesn't make mines any less boring. It makes them more interesting, I think, actually. But it's going to be much more about how the heavy tanks, much more about the damage dealers like the MX 3090 or the T69 work together. Because you won't be able to get any lucky shots off anymore.
You get less lucky shots. But the point is, normally, if you use an artillery, the enemy have to move. If you find the location, you know, okay, he's staying behind this rock, especially with the tier 2 and tier 3 artilleries, you can shoot behind nearly every position.
Sure, yeah.
So if you use tier 2 and tier 3 artillery and you spot the enemy have to move or react. So I think through this patch, we will see more faster and dynamic games, because everyone has to move and relocate and attack, and you don't have to fear the big arty hits, but you have to fear if the arty hits if you're staying around and doing nothing. So you have to move constantly. You can push in the open. Okay, you can get maybe 300 damage, but you didn't get one-shotted. Yeah, normally not. Sometimes I'm right, but normally you didn't get one shot. So I think this patch will bring much more dynamic in. Yeah,
I think it's a very good point. I mean, it's obviously up to the team. Some teams play more passive. Some teams play more, offensive, regardless of the artillery picks. But it's going to be an interesting change. I mean, every patch there's always something changing. Accuracy is another interesting change. Obviously, accuracy being increased vastly because the shells won't be going towards the edge of the reticle nearly as much, which is going to make, I think, World Tanks even better of an esports, because it's going to be less about the random shots, going to be less random RNG, as you call it. So that's going to be a good change.
Looks like the teams are ready, and we see two arties on both sides, and I didn't expect it, but we see a Bison and a Sturmpanzer for both of the teams.
Yeah, so they are going for that Russian setup more. Yeah. I mean, the Bison was the first tank to be used on that map.
So we're back live here on the south side, spawning for Kazna, and on the north spot for Mousesports. The question will be, do you think some tanks will likely go for the left side on the island? I think Veko is just driving for H12 to go to the top of the small hill. Yeah. It was in the last few games more or less common to send one tank to counter this part on the G1, or even aggressive on the H1, most likely a T2 light. But you also can send a 1390 really aggressive at this part.
Yeah, Snip just avoiding a shot there from one of the Storm Panzers. Obviously, one of the best things about the hill is that you can spot over the other team's base and possibly spot out that high-tier artillery. Obviously, there is no high-tier artillery here, so going up to the hill is not quite as advantageous as it was if you used a high-tier artillery.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Nalum is up there, and he is trying to search out for the rest of the Mousesports' team.
Yeah, I think the T-52 have a really big point here in the game. If you're doing really well, spot the enemy didn't die until the end, he managed to kill the arty. It's really easy for the T-52 to kill this Tier 2, Tier 3 arties with 1 or 2 shot. So it's really important to stay as long as possible alive, but didn't risk too much, but you have definitely to risk a lot if you spot. So you have to spot it, yeah, Nephilim, and on the other side you have a really, really important job here to do. And that's a really smart move from Snip.
Snip going up the hill. He won't get all the way up there, but he is trying to proxy spot, possibly nail him in that T-52. I think he's actually spotted nail him, so you just want to stay there in case anything else goes up there, because he's not over to the right, so nothing is spotting any tank that's going up there. But with one game apiece, one map apiece, there's everything to play for now. Koblion spotting both artillery spotted actually from Kazna crew. But
yeah, that's a question that they noticed that they get spotted. And the question is if they are able to kill one of them.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you have a high-tier artillery and you spot the other team's artillery, you can take it out very easily. But now, with only about half the map range on those 2 Storm Panzers, it's a lot harder. You have to direct right line of sight probably to kill them.
Exactly. And it's not even the range of the artillery, it's also the size. It's a really small tank, and you got no splash most likely because you're shooting with premium. So you need a direct hit, and it's not that easy.
So Snip still trying to proxy spot anything on the hill. I think we'll possibly see him push around in a second, because, well, I think the next move from the Mousesports will be to take out Nelum in that T-52.
I think the same, yeah. Veko is going a bit more aggressive here on the H-line, but he's only trying to spot. I think he don't really trust in that the side is clear, but he didn't get spotted, so he should be that he can go further on the island on the one line.
Sure,
and I think that would be also really important that Kazna try to get cover and the control over the island. And just the pings going up that he didn't spot anything. And they're driving up to the hill now with the T-69 in the mid area. It's still Mojo and Hyber. Hyber is still on the hill, and still Mojo's just waiting here and cover him.
Now, Snip hasn't realized there's a T-69 there. He's not quite in the right position. Now he's reversing. Will he spot him? Yes, he will. Hyber's spotted. This will give Mousesports some good information on what to do next, some good points on what to do next.
Hyber will get some artillery hits for sure.
Yes, definitely one shot going out there, probably from Viol. He is in a perfect position right there in his
and the second one also miss him closely. Yeah, that's the point. If you go to the next shot, directly next Hyber, if you go to the 2 small artilleries, you can shoot everywhere on the map. So you have to really be carefully and directly relocating after you get spotted. Otherwise, you get definitely some hits.
Yeah.
So the question is how they want to go forward. I think Kazna would like to go forward with the 3090 on the island, the 69 securing the hill area, and the T-52 can go for other artillery. One of the Bisons, it's Coppa Leone. No, it's not Coppa, it's Jagera. Jagera is relocating to the left side, so they want some more RT support on the left side of the map instead of the right side.
So, I think...
Let's check, is Snip still on the hill?
Yeah, I think Snip will see push over the island at any second now. I think that's probably his next move. That's what I would do anyway, because it looks like the whole of Kazna crew is towards the eastern side of the map.
Yeah, but exactly at the same time he starts to move, Nealem also starts to move his 250 down the hill, back on the side, and yeah, with cover from Rico, we will take care of the island, and yeah, maybe they spot also the artillery.
Yeah, I think Kazna crew probably caught on to the fact that they have left a huge hole in their defense. Obviously, with this is 7 versus 7, so you can't cover the whole map as if you would have 15 players,
exactly.
Which is obviously the biggest part of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, one point is they got 3 69s in the mid area here, and they all can support the T-52. And they spotted one 69, I think it was Christopher from Mousesports, in the north right of the map. So they got more forces for the left side.
Sure. It looks like Mousesports are mobilizing right now. 2 T-69s, Carmen, Christopher, puzzling in the AMX 5100, and Viol will probably go down if Nelen pushes. Is Nelen pushing?
No, he's just staying and smoothly, carefully looking forward, step by step, stone for stone, bush for bush. He don't want to risk anything. Veko joins him now on the island, and the Bison from Shigera is also relocating more to the left side of the map. So I think if the Bison is relocated, the 1390 is safe at the rock, and Nehalem will go forward and try to spot something.
Sure. Some pings going out into the middle. As you can see, Mousesports, all three of them are just, I'm not sure what they're doing. I think they're turtling up a bit. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, but they could either be in their default camp position or they could be pushing.
It's a really defensive game style from Mousesports.
No, it isn't.
No,
just as you say that, now Mousesports pushing forwards, I think they were just getting ready for Snip.
At the same time, Nehalem is just going up to the hill here, and I think he will spot them push. Or is it too fast?
It's too fast.
Oh, too
and
fast.
now Snip is coming as well. He will be going for those 2 artilleries. He is spotted. Kobleon will be the first one. He's only got 160 health, so that's 2 shots for TV-2. And he will be on to Jagera any second now. It just depends how fast they are. But we have a big engagement in the middle. Alien will be able to probably take down Hyber in that T69.
No, Alien is on reload. He got only 2 shots left. He should be on reload now. And now this was definitely the last chance. He shoot 2 or 3 times on the T52. And now he's on running. And Hyber can empty his clip after he's reloaded. And he have definitely collect some shells. Pilauda is again down to Nehalem just joined on the hill, puzzling with 1 shell on him.
But it looks like Mousesports are in a good position. Hyber connecting 1 shell, but he has to connect the second one to take him down. But I think Christopher might be reloading, but Hyber does take him down.
And 2 shells left for Hyber, and the Artie is shooting at him. The question is, will he manage to kill Puzzling before Puzzling manage to kill Pilauda? And yes, he will.
Yes, he will. Puzzling had no choice there, 2 versus 1.
And it's only Alien who is nearly soon reloaded with full hit points. Again, Hyber with 114, Veko with 1.
But Snip does take down Pilauda in that TVD-2. That was really a brilliant shot from him right there. And now Alien, the Aliener, will be ready to try and down Veko. This is going to be a very hard game for Mousesports now.
Yeah, but Hyber is 1 shot, and if Alien spot him fast enough, the Artie can kill Hyber, or he can even do it by himself. The good point for Mousesports, they got both Arties alive, and Jigera is the only Artie for the guys from Kazna. The point is, Hyber have to die fast.
Sure. Yeah. But it's always hard to connect those shells with those small artillery, because if you miss, then you miss. You do no damage at all, because they will be using heat ammo, which does have 228 penetration, which is plenty. Yeah. Even for T-32s, it's just about enough.
Yeah, but you can also do easily a track shot or just bounce on the turret or stuff like that. And yeah, the point is, the T-52 from Snip is actually the worst thing for Kazna.
Yep.
They have to try to kill this guy.
Snip is trying to spot out. I think it's that Hyber in that T-69 is on very low health, and then there'll be Viol.
Yeah, but he gets spotted now from Hyber very soon, I think. He was really time lucky again. Hyber was moving back behind the rock, and then Snip was moving through. And now he have to collect some shells. First was a miss, so Hyber definitely in trouble now.
Viol missing that shot. He will have 15-second reload. 16 seconds actually, I think, in that Bison. But Snip is going to try and take him down 1 shot.
On the other side, Alien Amorect Veko. I don't know if Veko is able to repair, but yeah. Oh, Alien missed the 2nd shot. The question is, Alien got enough shells to kill Veko or managed to escape?
Yeah, the MX-1390, not the most accurate of beasts, certainly. And now will Kazwan and VL be able to do any damage? As Jigera is a big problem for them right now.
But yeah, to get the 8-point lead now, so I think it's pretty much a win for Mousesports.
Yeah.
Veko and Alien are on the same amount of hit points, and the T-52 is on the island. Oh no, they're spotted. And yeah, you have to shoot him, and the 2 artillery is also shooting.
Looks like one of the 2 Mousesports artillery isn't using heat, it's using HE.
Yeah, but it's not really easy. If you look on the left, it's Amarak is done, turret control is done, tracks are done.
And there we go.
Tanks are done.
Second win going to Mousesports on mines. Brilliant game for them, that push through the middle.
In the end, yeah. It was so close, and then they managed to do it so safe and so serious to the end.
Yeah.
Didn't panic at all.
Both teams could have won at that point. I think, honestly, I mean, it would have been very hard for Kazna crew because the TPC-2 is just that fast and can do just that much amount of damage that it would have been extremely difficult for them to actually catch up with it.
Yeah.
And and then I think it was Hyber. He pushed along the bottom with his T69, but
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
straight
Hyber.
into VL because there's nothing Hyber could have done then because VL was in that Bison. He only used to he could have used HE to kill him, but Heat would have certainly killed him if he penetrated. And so he couldn't reverse because he would have got shot. He only had this little safe position behind the rock, so he couldn't go forwards. He couldn't reverse, so that was a T69 out of the picture.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it was just up to Elian to play it clever. And he did. He had the high. He had the high ground, which is regardless, it's so important on this in this game.
But yeah, in the end, I also have to say what we're talking about before. The team play from Kazna is really good, but the individual player skill.
Yeah.
I saw so many shells missing.
Sure. Exactly.
It's too much on this high level of competition.
Yeah. And Cobra Leone got taken out in that Bison without doing any damage, whilst Mousesports 2 Bisons. Well, VL only hit that one shot at the end we saw with HE, but Kazvorb did do 654 damage, and he's very well known for that Bison play.
Exactly.
But yeah, we can have a look how much shells.
Even Snip in his T52 doing nearly 800 damage.
Yeah. So there we go. Shots fired, direct hit 7 by Veko in that AMX 1390. So not particularly brilliant. And here we go. Jigera, 16 shots,
and
2
only 2
hits.
hits. Yeah.
That is maybe just unlucky because that can happen.
Yeah, without it can be unlucky, but it's more or less the same over the whole season. They got really good tactics and team play, but sometimes it's only a little bit of the individual skills are missing.
Yeah, so our next map will be Abbey.
Yeah. Abbey is pretty favorite for Mousesports. They played it 14 times in the season and managed to win 10 times, so it's 71% of win on this map.
It's one of their favorite maps, along with along with Prokhorovka.
Yeah, and Kazna played it 13 times over the season, so also pretty
quite a lot.
often.
Yeah,
but only 46% wins.
So pretty much the same as the amount of wins generally across the whole season.
Yeah.
While Mousesports have plus 10% on their normal win, so it's one of their favorite maps.
Yeah.
Definitely. And well, I think it could go either way, though. I mean, Kazna crew are known for their synergy, for their team play, and which is very, very important on
Abbey,
Abbey.
definitely. Yeah. And they have to win if they want to win the game. Yeah. Otherwise, Mousesports is going to the winning
win 3-1.
Yeah,
exactly. So they will go on to play. Whichever team wins this will go on to play the winner of Spala versus Dragonborns,
exactly,
5th, 4th, and 5th, which will be our next match of the day. And then the winner of that will go through to the playoffs tomorrow.
Yeah,
because we're in the pre-playoffs now, which is basically a double elimination where if you lose, you go down, you have another chance.
Exactly.
If you win, then you go through to play Team Dignitas, second team of the 22 to play days we had. Just above Mousesports. It was a pretty close fight at one point until Mousesports kind of threw away with the loss against 1SPB.
I think in the end it was 6 points because they lose the last game, like you said, against Zawisza.
Yeah, lost that one 3-1, which is quite interesting actually. Zawisza, obviously one of the teams that got automatically relegated and replaced by, I think it was Hans Underdogs. I think it was.
Yeah, Hans Underdogs. Yeah. Hans Underdogs was going up from the Go 4 ranking, and Expendable Spanner Squad going up from A series.
Yeah, first place from A series, first place from Go for What. Yeah. Pretty impressive actually from both teams. I mean, Go for What can be a bit lucky, but anyone who's watched Hans Underdogs knows what a good team they are. They are actually really, really good. I think they'll be a great.
Even in the last season, they were on the 4th place in the top 3 going for. So it was so close, especially in the last season, and this time they managed it.
Yeah, they did actually take a couple of wins actually in the last month, the last season of Go for What. I think they won against 1STLT Bradzi. I can't pronounce the name. I can never pronounce the name. It doesn't help that we're in Jönköping. Names are just bad.
Jönköping.
Yeah. So map picks going on right now. T69s. T71, and choose about Alien X. We were talking about that tank earlier. So explain to me why the T71 is going to be good on this map.
The T71 got 6 shells, fire really fast. I think it's 15 seconds or 14.5 seconds of reload. Yeah. To reload really fast, and if you collect all shells, you do it around 1,000 damage. And it's a really it's a light tank. It's really movable and flexible. So you can, even on Abbey, there's a little small gap between the wards. If you start from the north, you can drive up to the Abbey without getting spotted or driving through the midway with the T71. 3090 is too big, and C69 also not work well. With the T71 it works proper. And if you manage to bring up to the hill, you get the spotting directly, and he is able to kill a T52 or some similar scouts easily.
Sure.
And even to support in 15 seconds, 1,000 damage. It's quite a nice DPM.
It's an excellent DPM. It's great at just taking out tanks. You know,
Yeah,
your team does the most. Exactly, your team does most of the damage, and you're just there to take out the tanks. I mean, and if you lose it, you don't lose the game because it's only some points.
Yeah.
So what you can do, quite interestingly, I've seen this done before. You can send it forwards, and obviously against these autoloader lineups, like an AMX 1390 will unload most of its shells because it has got quite a nice bit of health, 850 I believe it is, 840 even.
Yeah, that's a disadvantage you got compared to the TA tanks that are missing 500 hit points.
But you still have to shoot 3 shells to kill it. So you shoot 3 shells, and then now the AMX 1390 can't kill another AMX 1390, so you got the advantage in that respect. And also, T71 will be able to do a lot more damage in that situation than something like a VK2801, which will only be able to get like maybe one shell with a 13-second reload.
Yeah, you have to use the T79 to flank the enemy and empty the magazine.
Sure.
And if you manage to collect 6 shells and manage to reload, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the reason why they're picking the T71. And, AMX 5100s and 1390s, nothing too unusual there.
Yeah, they're playing only with Bison as artillery, looks like.
Yeah. Well, Bison is, the Mines and Abbey at the beginning of Go For What in the beginning of tournaments, 7 versus 7, those were the 2 most common tanks used on his map. Welcome back. Mousesports 2-1 up against Kazna crew, taking Himmelsdorf and Mines, while Kazna crew did play excellently on Ensk, I believe it was. And now this could possibly be the decider as Mousesports filter off to the right to the mountainside, as we call it, as Kazna crew
from the south directly driving to the mid area. Maybe they're doing something similar to Ensk, just surprise the enemy by playing really, really aggressive. So they're going now for the 6th line with the 1390 as well in the mid area. With 3 tanks they're pushing in. It quite surprised me that they're playing so aggressive on the Abbey.
Yeah, same with Mousesports, to be honest. Elian pushing forwards, he's looking for that rock. The rock you can just see right there. He will plant his AMX 1390 just behind that, while the rest of his team will be here. It's a great place to play from that side, because you have the advantage in terms of firepower and cover, as Nelium is spotted in that T71.
Yeah. But they got the map control now on the 8th line, was it one of the 2 ones? And staying safe in the Abbey. I think the positioning from Kazna is really nice. They can go everywhere really fast.
Yeah, that's certainly for sure. I mean, if you have the hill, you have the higher ground, and I think a lot of people forget that this game is a really tactical game.
Yeah.
But Nelium, just to take a shot from Kazwab in that Bison. Kazwab, brilliant artillery player. I love seeing how he's flourished as an artillery player. He was pretty good at the beginning, but he just, he lacked finesse, and that's really what he's got now. Making that kind of shot he maybe wouldn't have made at the beginning of the season, and that's really the development from the beginning of the season to the finals that we're at now.
Yeah, and it's really important that the small artist collect the shells. And no, this tank is down to 550 hit points, so he's more or less a 2-shot.
Two-shot now,
definitely a 2-shot. Yeah, and makes the move able from this T71. He can't move that much now. He have to be really careful. He can't risk to get any shot.
But now here we see Mousesports pushing along 2 T69s and AMX 5100. They want to be trying to flank Kazna crew. How will this work? As Carmen leads the charge in that T69, while Puzzling is backing up.
The second arty hit to the T71 from Neolem. Now he's down to 300 hit points, and he had to waste this repair kit. So he can't repair anymore, so he gets tracked, he's down.
Yes, but at the same time, Kazna crew are pushing from the other side.
And big hit to Alien from the mid area. On the other side, the 1390, it's from Still Mojo, just going directly to the base with 1T1. That would be really awesome if they managed to cap with 2 tanks now.
I don't think they will, as Pelauda and Beko are pushing straight in there as well. And I think this could be a cap race, and we have got ourselves a cap race.
I think they will win the cap race. I didn't see any chance to spot it fast enough and reset the cap. The cap, with 3 tanks, the only one maybe Kazna can spot, but Hyber is going to block them, and Pilar is also going to the hill to block it.
Snib can actually spot them. If
no, they are safe. They are safe.
Oh, behind the rock, yeah, sure, yeah. This is actually a pretty ingenious tactic. We have seen it before. It just depends how they can execute it. Snib pushing forwards now. He did take a shot.
You get killed by Hyber and Lauda,
sure.
definitely.
So
and he is done. And that's a GG more or less on this round.
About
only
a few seconds left.
Yeah.
As this will be a 2-2 as Kazna crew takes it in style.
Wow.
Very nice move from them. Congratulations. And we'll be on to White Park as our final. So a
2-2, and now we're going to White Park.
This is going to be a 3-2 as the first game. I mean, obviously, we can look into the history of these two teams. Match day 10, they won. Mousesports won 3-1.
Yeah.
And on match day
21,
yeah,
it's 1-3. Yeah.
So we haven't seen a 3-2 from these two teams.
Yeah, but there's a nice fact about the whole season. Mousesports played 6 times 2-2.
Yeah.
And how many rounds they won of this?
No idea.
All 6.
All 6.
They won all 6 of the whole season. So ever Mousesports was tied 2-2, they could win the last game 6 times the whole season.
Sure. I think that's why. I think they've been picking White Park as the last game.
Maybe that's
probably why.
Yeah. Yeah. About the map, they was not played often. Mousesports played 5 times White Park, won 4 of them. Kazna up on the other side won 3 times of 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So it's 75 to 80% win ratio, but it's not that huge.
Yeah, it's such a small amount of data. It's hard to predict this match.
But the fact that Mousesports wins 6 times after 2-2 is a really huge one.
That is pretty interesting. I mean, the comeback kings, perhaps. I mean, it's been back and forth so far. I mean, Mousesports did go to. They've won 1 game. The other team's won 1 game, and it's been back and forth. So that's. Just shows how close these teams are in this finals. I mean, Virtus.pro and obviously Dignitas won't have a chance to show their steel today in the pre-playoffs, so we don't know how close they are to the rest of the teams, how much they've been practicing. I believe Virtus.pro had a some sort of boot camp as well, so they could have got some good practice in there.
Yep.
But it's been so long, we've played 2 months of this season, that on this patch, I don't think the two teams are going to be... they can't get any more used to this game. They can't get any more used to playing with each other. Obviously, they can improve in areas, but they're used to everything, every factor. So, how much of a boot can make a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, that's Jigera.
Making some.
I think he's happy after this cap.
Sure.
Maybe it was his tactic.
Yeah. Well, we can go over to some social media again. We aren't giving away any codes today in the chat, unfortunately, but there's other ways you can do it. If you go on to WG_esports_EU, there's things you can do. You can tweet in and say, what would you like about today and stuff, and perhaps you'll win a code.
Maybe also to ask some questions. Maybe we can do it between the matches, so give him some answers.
Sure. So, just going to be saying the next game. Looks like there's a heated discussion between the tacticians of Kazna crew.
No,
it's Venom even. Venom.
The German head man. It looks like they got some discussion, or maybe a short break, bio break, or whatever.
Yeah, sure. So
after the 4 intense games,
do head over to Facebook and give us who will advance. We want to know who will advance. The vote is up there at the moment. It's probably about 50-50 at the moment. I mean, obviously, Mousesports probably probably the more favoured just because they came 3rd this season, and that could win you a premium tank. Also, head over to Twitter and obviously hashtag WPL, and the best tweet of the day will be chosen for a KV5. And if you're a budding artist, if you're a budding Picasso, do draw us a picture with one of our names or all of our names on it, and that could win you super pushing. Perhaps make it more Dreamhack related. Would be nice. Related.
Something more Swedish would be also okay for me.
Yeah.
Maybe a Swedish thing with us or something like that. But feel free, it's your part.
We want to see them. We really want to see them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some great artwork around here. Some of the art on the tanks is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So if you can beat that, maybe we'll see where we can put it. Or maybe I'll have it on my wall somewhere. I don't know. It just
studio. We will pick the picture in our new studio.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. So that's our social media, and we have got a lot of that going on. So just get involved in the Twitch chat, whichever way you want to do it. Just have some fun, and we'll be there. We'll be there to give you some free stuff, which is brilliant because I love free stuff. Who doesn't love free stuff?
Is always the best stuff. Yeah.
So we can see if pack picking started. I don't think it has. They're just having a bio break.
Yeah.
It's, the half an hour they played. These guys are just kids. They have bladders. I don't know, of like a fish or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Too much coffee this morning. Too much chaffee.
Yeah. I know you. Yeah.
Damn
you will get it back. Yeah.
It's your damn 20s joke. That's what you get.
Yeah, you told me to the first time. I never heard about it.
Yeah, you just did it over and over again. That's what was so funny. Just whatever. It's great.
Yeah.
So this is our first match. We're just waiting for the two teams to get ready. Next match will be Spell versus Dragonborns Oda Mortis. That will be in a bit, not too long. Depends how this goes. If they decide to camp on White Park, obviously it will take longer. But that one's going to be a really interesting game because Spell have been playing so up and down the whole season. I mean, we saw them take second in IEM Hanover and CeBIT, and they played really well there, but they Yuli all the time.
Yuli.
Yeah.
The point is, they were the only team to win against Virtus Pro.
Sure, yeah.
They win
3-0
one time against Dignitas.
Yeah.
And also top teams.
No, they didn't win against Team Negos.
Yeah, but they're losing also against Izuber. I think against Lucky Karaki one time.
Sure, yeah.
And it's not stable. It's
all about being stable. It's more about being consistent than winning against. I mean, a top team because. Obviously, if you get into the stage we had where we had so many teams on the same amount of points, then obviously beating the teams which are in that situation with you is very important. But if you're not in that situation because you're just you're winning the games you should be winning, then you won't be in that situation. You won't have to deal with that.
Normally, to win against the top teams or against Virtus Pro is just a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you need definitely the points against teams behind you.
Yeah.
It's like Dragonborns. We win, I think, every round. We lose only one round against a team behind us. It was Izuba one time.
Yeah.
And all other teams, we managed to get the draw of the points, so 3-3. But we lose all games against Dignitas, against Virtus Pro and Mousesports. Yeah. So top three, we lose all 6 games. You lost
3-2 against teams against.
Yeah, it was a really close game on the last map. Yeah.
So, tank picking has started on White Park. I mean, we won't see anything too different. I mean, I'm not sure if that grill lineup Mousesports used to use is going to work.
We see a T-32 from Hyber, Kazna.
That's pretty interesting.
Surprised me a bit.
I mean, it's a good tank, 320 damage with decent penetration. I think it's 244, 260 or something like that with premium ammo. But will he be able to use that turret armor, the 298mm turret armor? I don't think he will. He's going to go into the middle. Which will be useful because he will get his shots on. But
but it looks like that Kazna is starting north.
Yeah, exactly. So are they?
Yeah, the Kazna is starting north. So Kazna is slightly favored now for me, and not Mousesports anymore.
I think that's why they were so happy that they won the last map because they're like, yes, we're from the north.
Yeah. We managed to get to White Park. Yeah.
But then you did beat them. We've been saying all season that White Park is really unbalanced, which it is, undoubtedly. We'll all admit that, and that's why it might be taken up for Season 2 as we evaluate, and we might put it back into Season 3 if the changes in 8.6 are significant enough. But we have seen a few wins. We saw you beat MYM, obviously, in the last game of the season, which was mind-blowing, probably the best game ever.
I can't remember it. Can you explain it to me again?
Yeah, you know what I mean. But we've seen 2 or 3 other wins.
Yeah, as I was doing the statistics for Dreamhack, I noticed that 4 or 5 games from Southside was won in the season, and we played around 22 games.
Yeah.
So it's 25%.
But it's more because the people from the north have to at least use some of their brain to decide where they push, because they always lose from the north, not because it's a really bad side, because you can't just say, oh, your default win to the other team because it's from the north.
No,
you still got to push correctly. I mean, it's very easy to push correctly, but you still got to do it, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's why they lose from the north.
Exactly. But in that case, the T-32 from Neolem takes a sense if they're starting north.
Sure.
Kazna guys, the T-32 is really nice to defend the mid area.
Yeah, definitely a good tank there. I mean, we won't be seeing any artillery, so
no,
it's definitely not going to work in that respect. I mean, the one thing I would say though is the IS-3 isn't used on this map for that exact reason, because it doesn't have the gun depression for that middle area. And I think if you have the gun depression on a map like this, where you've got such a definitive line going straight through, you need it.
It's really super perfect if you get the T-32 in the position, and especially they're playing with 2 T-69s again, like on Himmelsdorf. You can get easily the map control and bring the T-32 in position.
Sure, yeah.
And if they try to attack the T-32,
So here we are, the decider, Wide Park, Mousesports from the south, while Kazna crew do have that advantageous north position. Whoever wins this will be going through to the next stage of the winners final, while the loser will have to play another game against the loser of the next game to decide their fate, and that could possibly either be Speer or Dragonborns. But
and yeah, the T-69 from high was likely spotting the mid area near and join him with the T-32. It's more or less an expected position, but they didn't spot anyone. Oh no, they spot Christoph in the T-69.
Yeah, Christopher is in that preferred position. If you're ever playing random maps, this is a great position for the T-69. It's a great position for any tank, actually, because you're surrounded by cover, and that's really important. I mean, the worst thing in this map playing the south is that the fact that you can get shot from the middle, and that's why this works so well, because there's so much cover. Kazna pushing forwards in that T1. Elian does take down Jagera straight away. Hyber's in kind of trouble.
Really fast, yeah. But now they can use the T-32 really well. If you see here, you can just hide and only show the turret and can do so many damage.
But Hyber just took 3 shots, taking down to 455. Nalem's also going to take a shot, but he's not going to be in too much trouble as shots ricochet off him. Puzzling also down to 740.
Yeah. Yeah, Kazna led them the whole side on the right. Then only the 1T1 is there for spotting. The 51 was still more or less in the base to defend it. The T-32 also decided to go more defensive here and just playing with the turret. The T-69 Pilauda is trying to take cover into Nealem. T-69. The Mousesports still going on the 1-2 line, going back to...
I think now Kazna crew do have the HB advantage. They'll be kicking themselves... No, HB disadvantage. They'll be kicking themselves. They've lost that. And Mousesports are in a... I reckon it's about 50-50 now because of the HP change.
Yeah.
The fact that Kazna crew are down in that respect now, the map is more balanced. And Mousesports very static at this point. Snip and Elian, as well as Puzzling, kind of turtle down.
Yeah, Nealem doing some blind shots here to the wall, and yeah, I think I'm not sure if they should attack the force from Mouse now or they just wait. What happened here? As they're trying to relocate to try to flank them.
Sure. And Viol, one of the resident artillery players, also plays T1 as well, and well, he's just keeping it cool in the background. He's making sure that no cheesy push happens. Kazna crew are over that western side a lot. I mean, that's why Mousesports could get ahead and do so much damage. So they are expecting a push over that side. Otherwise, they would lose. They'll lose from the north.
But it's really hard for Kazna. They can't really push. They got the hit point advantage a bit, but it's nearly impossible to push against 4 autoloader. They are camping on the 9-0 line. Maybe they have to try to go for cap with the T1. But the problem is they got only Cobra Leone here alive on the side and they can't go away. Otherwise they didn't spot anything on this very important 0 line.
Sure, Pilauda taking down Kazwob, so that'll be 1 T1 each now. But Kazwob did spot a couple of their tanks, but it wasn't a great exchange. I think they should have probably not done that at all. Yeah. That will be hard when it comes to the cap race, if it does come to a cap race.
It's really important to kill the T1s on this map. Definitely it's important. Never let T1 cross mid-area.
And then we saw that blind shot onto Elian. That was completely blind. He wasn't spotted at all, and that's what Elian retreated, so it did work out for him.
But Pilauda also directly gets some blind shots back, so and miss him really closely.
Yeah, so blind shots on either side. And we wanting some visible shots at some point, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I think at one point they have to go in on the 2 line if they want to win it. I think it's a good choice if they're going for the cap or trying to force Mousesports to fight on the mid of the city with all the outlaws, so they can just run away, hide a bit, and share the damage between the tanks.
So Pilauda once again spotted in his T69, just by Christopher 2012 in his T69. But nothing really changed as we are 5 minutes into the game now almost, as both teams will be wanting to think and really consider what they want to do next, because this will be the win for whichever team comes out on top.
Yeah, both teams playing really carefully, and I think it's not surprising me if we see one-time a draw on this map.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
sure.
I remember all close games on White Park, you have to play really carefully and really passive. You don't want to get trapped.
The problem is that you can't push from the south. There's no way you can push from the south because you'll just get shot across an open field.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very, very hard to push correctly there, almost impossible. Maybe we'll see it happen, I don't know. There's some pings going out there, but from the north you can push.
Yeah, from the north definitely, but if they push from the south, the T-32 is so well covered, he does so much damage until you manage maybe to kill him. So I think Kazna, if they want to attack, they have to do it on the 2 line, or they just counter push it on the 0 line, but they also didn't manage or can't manage to get to the 0 line until without getting spotted.
Obviously, now whatever plans Kazna crew did have, which could have meant that they pushed, probably have gone out the window because of that HP disadvantage. They could have said at the beginning of the game, okay, we'll wait until, let's say, 7 minutes in, and then we'll push along the 1 or 2 line. But now they've lost quite a little bit of HP. Perhaps they'll put that in the back burner and just say, okay, we're gonna camp this one out, and then the next round we'll do that tactic, because they don't want to give it away and lose it just because of HP.
Yeah. I think it was the decision from Mousesports as well. They're pushing forward, trying maybe we can break the defensive, pushing on the 1-2 line, on the 9-0 line, but then they decided, okay, we're losing too much hit points, let's retreat and just get in cover and wait. And there was a hit from Lauda, Snip hit him in his 5100, a lot more blind shots coming out. That's also, you can play a bit on the gamble if you want, because if you count the shells, sometimes the 5100 have to reload. So you expect, okay, maybe they got 2 shells only left, or they're actually on reload.
Sure.
So we can maybe push.
Yeah, if some 5100 players prefer to reload as quickly as possible so they can have all 6 shells. I think I personally reload. I always do it. It's not really clever because I don't like autoloaders that much. I always press the reload after shooting 1 shot. It's just because I got OCD about it. Like I hate not having a full clip.
Exactly, the same for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I just really don't like that. I mean, probably a lot of people have it.
Yeah, often I shoot 2 times and think, okay, I got some seconds now, and then I press the reload.
You've got to think about actually how much damage you still can do with 4 shells.
Yeah, if it's enough, and then you reload, and then it's the enemy push forward.
Yeah, you can still do 1,200 out of 1,800 if you shot 2 shells. You know, it's still loads of damage.
Exactly, yeah.
But now Mousesports are pushing forwards with their 2 AMX 5100s. But will they get spotted by the T-32? Well, we can see these trains give any sort of cover.
Yeah, but I think Pilauda should also manage to spot them. Then DT1 from Corleone definitely will spot them.
Yes, definitely. And obviously these trains can be
really
destroyed.
Nice,
and if they are destroyed, you can shoot them through them. Not too easily, but you can. And if they connect the shells, then these 5100s are in big, big trouble.
Definitely, yes. Carmon and I3 is spotted.
Yes, Pilauda is spotted in his T69. Elian hasn't made a shot, so I don't think he can actually connect any shells.
Yeah, the question is, will we see any move in the next 2 minutes? I think after Carmon also get 2 hits now, or at least
just one hit, 353.
Yeah. Okay, they can't really attack in the last 2 minutes. The risk is too high, and I think they don't want to do it in the important match. It's too important.
Yeah, it's way too important. Yeah. The winner of this will have an advantage, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, you still can lose 1 time.
Yeah, exactly. You always have that in the bag. It's just nice to have, you know, the fact that you can have 3 unlucky games and win. And just take a big shot there.
And you manage to avoid Virtus.
But this is very bad for Kazna crew, as Nilim just takes a lot of damage, down to 366. But he does go invisible as Mousesports shoot a flurry of shells into him. But Vecco...
no, Alien got also some trouble.
Vecco connecting 1 shell onto Alien. But 1 shell onto, Alien, I think it was, yeah.
But this was a really smart move. If you watch the hit points from Kazna, it was more or less lucky that he managed to escape with 82 hit points.
Yeah, that last shell connecting onto him.
But no, Carmen is again on trouble. 1 minute left and he's down to 900.
Carmen taking a couple of shells. He is running for cover right now. 59 seconds on the clock, but he's not too bothered actually. And Pilauda's on 4:55. No one wants to draw, it seems. And Mousesports surging forward as that T69.
Yeah, they want the decision, but yeah, Pilauda is waiting here. Still Mojo, I don't know. I think Still Mojo has to reload. I don't know if he managed it in time. But there's also Wico with 6 shells. So if trying to push over, and the T1, that's a nice move from Corleone on the other side. They move forward to spot them.
We've only got 30 seconds left. Pilauda on 132. Beko just take his shell. Everyone wants.
Puzzling is down to the one. Puzzling is down, and now they have to survive. We definitely see the fight now.
Only 21 seconds to go. Beko on 768. Snip being very careful, but this is the thing. Pilauda is on 356, and Beko does get taken down by Snip in the AMX 5100. 10 seconds left on the clock. Who's got the win?
The question is Still Mojo. He was on reload. If he managed to do some damage, now he got only 4 seconds, and they definitely have to kill one. Otherwise, a good. Now it's
a win for Mousesports. Wow. They do take the win on Wipeout from the south. One of the things we don't see a lot in these in the play days from the last 22. So that's a win for Mousesports. They will be going to go through to the winner of the next match we have.
Definitely deserved it by attacking
that
aggressive
was
in the end.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really interesting. So we saw Carmen go forwards in that IS3. We thought he could possibly die in that situation, but no. You know, they pushed forwards. They got into a situation where they that T32 was useless almost, and because he was on solo health, I think he had 36 health left. They just needed to take him down, and then the firepower was so much less for Kazna crew that they just couldn't do anything at that point.
I think the biggest mistake that Still Mojo decided to reload. 1 minute before the end, and 45.
We were just talking about that, you know.
Yeah, he was on reload, and as he joined the fight again, it was over. It was done, and that was really the big point.
So, yeah, Still Mojo will be kicking himself, but that's just one of the things of the game. They will, unfortunately, be going down to the losers bracket, where they'll be fighting either Spaller or Dragonborns, who are the 2 finalists, I guess we can call them.
So if Kazna want to go to tomorrow, they have to do a lot of practice today. They will have to play at least minimum 2 more games.
Exactly, 2 more games, and then when they do win those 2 more games, they'll be going to fight Virtus Pro the next day, which is going to be such a hard match for them.
Exactly.
I mean, nothing against Dignitas, but they aren't on the same level as Virtus Pro.
No.
And the fact, and it's not just that. I think they are on a pretty same level as Virtus Pro, but they haven't been to an offline event. Obviously, Arclit from Red Rush Unity was in Eurosteel 2012, which was in summer last year, September last year even. So he has got some experience.
Bit of experience.
And also, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs, because he's more used to playing offline event. But where the rest of his team is going to be a lot of nerves for them. I mean, we saw
especially
at the
in the important moments.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes you say, don't go.
I mean, every time we see a new team come to an offline event, we can see that they're very nervous. We can see by the way they play, they're missing shots left and right and center, and it's just going to be hard for them, I think.
Especially you notice if you do some small talks with the teams between the matches, and you notice, okay, there's some experience missing, and they're lagging of the experience.
Yeah. Because it's a whole new game. It's a whole new game of offline events, completely different. I mean, obviously you're still shooting tanks, you're still blowing things up. I mean, that doesn't stop. But yeah, that was a brilliant win for Mousesports, and we'll be throwing over to the stage to have an interview with the winners.
Okay, we have Snip up here on the stage. Well done, congratulations. Mousesports winning in a 3-2 thrilling game. I would talk about map 1 and map 3, but they were fairly ruthless. So let's talk about the 2 maps that you lost, because losing on Insk the way you did, were you caught out? Were you surprised?
On Insk, it was my fault. I died without making the match. It was only 1 shell from me, so 300 damage from IMX 50-100 is not enough. And to be honest, Kazna make perfect counter tactic for us, because they saw we are pushing there, and they probably just counter us, and we couldn't do anything. But at the end, we've got chance, but our both T1s died, so both T1s from Kazna was capping our base. Our 50-100 got chances, but 2 cappers couldn't make enough.
And then on Abbey on the 4th map, they completely surprised you. They surprised me, putting 3 tanks in there. in the cap circle, but you guys were just too far away to do anything about it.
Yes, it was also a nice counter, to be honest. But I was surprised that I didn't spot them by T71 because I was standing in bushes and thought I should spot them and our Bison should the cap, but I couldn't spot. T69 was killing me. I couldn't spot, so they just cap. No, our bad. No.
Okay, well, let's talk about map 5 because Wide Park has been a difficult map to play from the south pretty much all season. We've only seen Dragonborns win it, and they won it through Magus, capping that amazing cap against MYM. You guys actually attacked from the south. Why? What was your thinking?
Yeah, to be honest, I never saw the team attacking from south. First attacking team from south was Dragonborns, but it was just capping. It wasn't clearly attack. I think we got some nice tactics from White Park South. In Hanover on last offline tournament, we also won the final crucial game against Spale 3-2. On White Park South, we also attacked, but our crazy tactics with T50-2 on White Park. Now we play regular normal heavy tanks and we make it. So
is Wide Park now your lucky map?
yes, White Park is our lucky map. We always win 5 White Park. We never lost. Yes, we never lost 5 White Park.
All right, so final question. Did you expect to have such a really tough game with Kazna crew, considering where you finished 9 points clear of them in the league?
Yes, I thought so. Kazna was well prepared. We've got in France their Pro League account, so we saw every evening Kazna was online and training against us, training to prepare against us. And it was one of the hardest games will be probably versus Kazna, because they got very skilled players. I think Kazna is one of best Pro League teams on city maps. They got perfect experienced player on city maps, and we were really scared on city maps. And they eliminate Prohorovka, so they just won't play city maps, and nice that we won.
Well done. Congratulations, you're through to the winners bracket final, and just one more game away from going through to the semi-finals, so best of luck.
Thank you, I hope we make it.
Well, there we go. Snip from Mousesports, they're through to the winners bracket final. Let's go back to our commentary team.
Hello and welcome back to the Casters booth. We'll be doing some analysis for you on our 5 maps. That takes Mousesports' 3-2 win tally up to 7. Obviously from 6 plus 1, 7. So yeah,
7 now. Yes,
maths is good.
Yeah. But still on 100%, it's easier.
Still 100% win ratio from those 3-2. So that's very, very impressive. And I think we possibly could see that even go further. We could see like 10 this finals, perhaps. I say.
You need really strong nurses if you want to manage all the last games.
Sure.
Yeah.
So did the statistics match what we thought would happen? Well, no, what actually happened?
I think if you go to the matches 3-1, 1-3, and the maps were picked and banned, and you checked out the performance and the win ratio for both teams, it was more like expected for me. Yeah. Maybe I expected a 3-1 for Mousesports, not a 3-2, but yeah.
I think
everyone likes to see 5 maps. So
sure, yeah, exactly.
I'm fine with it.
It was a good game. It was certainly some. It's just the first game, so it's pretty incredible to see how the teams were so offensive. I mean, especially on Ents, Kazna crew pushing so hard against Mousesports, and it definitely worked out for them.
Really nice
but yeah, we're going to analyze some of the games now on Himmelsdorf.
We're starting with Himmelsdorf. Himmelsdorf was really defensive at the beginning. I think that no one of the teams wanted to directly go for the hill.
Sure.
They're just spotting, trying to collect some shells, and going back, retreating from the hill, going up again. Kazna especially changed the T1 into T69 2 times.
Yeah.
And for Mousesports, also the 69 was up, goes down, and the second check on the hill. And then really in the last few minutes, I think the last 3 minutes, was an amazing push. And
well, I think at the end of the day, those 2 T69s just didn't do as much as they should have done. That was the big problem.
They didn't play aggressive enough for the setup.
Sure, yeah.
With 2 T69, you need more vision and you have to play more aggressive. But it's always hard to play really aggressive with the enemy camps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the problem is when you're pushing is that you'll almost always have the disadvantage that you get shot first because you're pushing, you're moving, you can't hit as much. So if someone's camping, they will get a shot off, and so you can't push with 2 tanks against 2 tanks.
That's
I mean,
true.
obviously AMX 5100s kind of mitigate a bit, so you know, you have to have the advantage in terms of firepower all the time. So you have to have 3 tanks, or you have to have autoloaders in there. But moving over to Ensk, that was our second map. It was a pretty good game from Kazna. I think that they just caught them out completely. As Snip was saying, that was a perfect counter to their tactic there, and well, I think we could see that. I mean, once we've seen it happen once, that work, and once perhaps the teams will say, oh wait a minute, we shouldn't be camping so much on this map. This can actually be an offensive map, and they'll change their gameplay in that way.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see, especially they didn't wait for the first spot, they directly drive in. They know, okay, basically this team always drive to this area, just flank him directly from the beginning. And I think even if Mousesports decide to switch the tactic, or maybe on the open side, or just stay in the base for aiming for mid, that still would working, because they got the total map control on the right side of the map. Staying so aggressive, then they can just go back maybe with 169 going from the other side and making sure where Mouse actually is positioning. But well played.
Now we've got Abby. Basically, it was just a cheesy tactic, but well, it was really clever actually.
Yeah, it was really clever.
They just pushed them along the bottom so they couldn't stop the cap, and then put 3 tanks in the cap, and they just capped it out, and it was clever.
I was all the time thinking, why are they playing with so many tanks in the mid area? I know why.
Yeah. So that was pretty much Abby, and then Y Park was just taking some good shots, doing some good damage against Kazna's crew. So when Mousesports finally did push under the bridge, they had the HP advantage, and it worked in their favor. They managed to get the shots off. They managed to kill that T-32, which was very, very important. So that was really what won them the game in that one.
Exactly.
And still Mojo reloading, obviously.
Of course. Mojo,
So our next game will be Schwaller versus Dragonborns, but we're going to throw it over to some commercials for now, and we'll see you in a minute.